Final segment of the show today. Excuse me. We're talking to Mr. Clarence Mitchell. And of course, Mr. Mitchell, before we had our final commercial break, we were talking about some aspects of the Philanthropist Awards. And let's have you to continue that, and more specifically, let's see if you can give us some information relative to not only the folks who sponsor you, but some of the folks who work with you daily to bring all of this information together and to lay out these affairs. Some of your committee members and that kind of information. Give us that kind of information.
More than happy to. I think they're a great bunch of people. I really do. And I've been knowing them for a long time. Not in any type of order, but our secretary, and I know you know her, is Miss Dolly Hodges.
Good, I do.
At the grad school.
Very
she's
good.
our secretary, and she's also one of the person that works the ballots once they start coming in, and works with the people with the selection process. Her name is Paula. Paula Turner. She's a beautician. She's one of our committee members, and she's in and out of Nashville quite regular now, but she's here when I need her, and she's here for the show.
Good.
She was the dean for the cosmetology. Am I saying that correct?
Dean of cosmetology, yes.
Over on Charlotte.
Yes, I
for,
know
for the longest. And then someone came by and offered her a deal because of how good she was with that. Then she went to Atlanta, but she's back and forth. Then my son, Dale Mitchell, he works for GMAC now. And Jimmy Hodges. He's a locksmith.
I know, yes.
Yeah, he's a locksmith at Tennessee State University. Yes, sir, and myself. And we're small in size, but I think we get the job done. And we have a lot of fun in doing this because when we come together, one person, and I know she would be totally upset, she does a lot of our decoration, is Melissa Anderson now. She got married a few weeks ago, Melissa Anderson. Was Melissa Manning. She does a lot of decoration for us. And those are the people that is really contact with the unit. What I'd like to say though before we do run out of time,
okay, good.
It's why I started this thing.
Good.
Besides where the monies go from this. Like I said, me being a student myself at one time at Nashville Tech, and I do remember when I was in the 10th grade that they did teach us about resumes. But resumes at that time talked about domesticizing yourself. You went to Chicago or whatever. But I noticed once I got in Nashville Tech, and even over at Tennessee State University, when I was taking communication under Dr. Elza and some of the ones, the resumes began to talk about speaking foreign languages now and going different places.
Good.
And what that did was put in concrete what I felt about this award show, because the money goes to the minority, the Rasmussen Studies Abroad program that's piloted over at Belmont University. And that's what we do. We've had one young lady, Beth Wiggins from Lebanon. She went over to France for a year and under our program. And so we was ecstatic about that. And we're reaching out now and trying to encourage some of the African Americans to. It doesn't mean that they have to graduate from Belmont. That's the hardest thing I'm having to get across to them. You're only going to use this program to go that place and come back and still graduate from Tennessee State University. So we know that it just does the individual, make them a more rounded person now, because we're in this one world economy, whether we want to or not, and people are working everywhere anymore. Not just to, statewide. So we're encouraging African Americans to get involved in broadening your horizons and get involved with the different languages and go to some of the other countries and do this. And that was what this is all about also.
And so you're telling young people that might be involved in higher education that they could spend a summer, a number of months in some foreign country.
Some foreign country
really
this program.
At the expense of the
time
program.
is now.
Yeah, the time is now. Sir. And you wouldn't think that you would have a lot of takers in reference to that.
I think it's fear, and we're working on that. And I think people like yourself and other faculty members at State and Mahari can encourage the kid to take a chance. And he don't lose any time, because these universities are all accredited universities, so he don't lose no time.
So in real sense, he can go to Europe or go somewhere else and for 6 months,
come back, study the English over there. 102 there, might be 103 there, but he don't lose any time for his credits. And they researched that out anyway, because the program is over 37 years old over at Belmont. So, and that's why they asked me would I do this, because they was trying to reach into the African American community, and they didn't have anyone to pilot the program. So,
and of course you can certainly testify to the fact of travel being broadened.
Oh yes.
And I would imagine that your success in terms of what you're doing has quite a bit to do with quite a bit of the traveling that you've done, and while you might not have recognized it, you were accumulating so much more information simply by visiting different cultures and et cetera, and you believe that to be important not only for you, but it's also important for those others that you come in contact with. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying it enables you too to build your moral values. You're able to look at people differently, and you're able to accept things more readily and understand people by reaching out into other parts of the world.
Just dealing with another culture.
Just dealing with another culture, yes.
Very good. And of course, Mr. Mitchell, let me thank you over the last half minute or so that we have for coming by and giving us that information, and in a real sense, being one of those organizations that deal with the folks who are not generally considered when all of these awards are passed out and et cetera. You know, as you say, really an organization dealing with the man in the street.
Right.
See, recognizing that that support is so vital in terms of everything that you do. And certainly now when is this awards ceremony going to be held?
It's going to be November the 14th.
November the 14th.
At the Maxwell House.
At the Maxwell House Hotel.
At 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock.
And we earmark that time because around 1, 2 o'clock, a lot of the churches are getting out, and they start looking for some place to have lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so let me thank you for, and we're running out of time here, but let me thank you for coming by and giving us that excellent information today about the time is now. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comment. Thank you and good morning.